Welcome to Maori Insights. Once again, I'm here to talk about the aggression against Ukraine by Russia. Last week, I briefly touched on the current situation regarding the attack on Ukraine and the global implications of the war. So far, most continents have seen the consequences of this war in different forms. Here in America, gas prices has skyrocketed because of this war, and they swing back and forth because of the war. As long as the war goes on, gas prices are not going to significantly go down. And the global implications also in many African countries is the price of goods, price of food, on food services. Also, at some point, if this war continues, it's going to cause global hunger in one way or another. So far, efforts to suppress this war or make a negotiated settlement have failed. Different countries and different leaders have so far failed to persuade Vladimir Putin to stop the war. And it's quite unfortunate here in this war, we haven't seen any leader so far that was unable to convince him to stop the genocide against Ukrainians. So much suffering has already been done when it comes to human lives, human property, and the national pride, all the national symbols of Ukraine. I have never seen destruction of human life in such a fashion. On live TV, no sympathy at all. All efforts so far have failed. And this is indicated by the different countries that have so far made an effort. And this is an example of that. The president of France have made an effort to meet with Putin, I believe, on 2 occasions, either met with him or had a phone conversation. None of those were successful. Another effort here was by Turkey, where negotiations happen in that country to try to end the war without success. Also, the German chancellor have tried to make negotiations to end the war, but so far, no fruitful outcome has been realized, with the following headlines by the British Guardian newspaper: EU divisions over Ukraine to be laid bare in number 10 meeting. This was at a time when the Prime Minister of UK, Boris Johnson, was having a meeting with the German Chancellor. So that's another effort failed. And this one is Austria's leader says his face-to-face meeting with Putin was not a friendly visit. If it wasn't a friendly visit, I guess that's why the war still goes on. The times of Israel. Israel, a regional power but hardly a global one, is very unlikely to be negotiating force that derails Russian President Vladimir Putin's decades-long loss for Ukraine's land. Two Russian experts told the Times of Israel. Rather, they believe Prime Minister Naftali Bennett's Shabbat Shadow, Moscow is more likely to have served Putin's goals than Israel's, with a little bit commentary regarding Israel's participation or efforts to end this war. I think this moment will also serve Israel to have a second thought, maybe think hard about their relationship with Palestinians, because after this war in Ukraine, the world should never accept what is going on, whether it's one country overpowering another subjects or people that they govern by way of blockade and other means to suppress their voice, to suppress their independence, to suppress their identity around the world. After this war in Ukraine, the world need to come together and discuss about that too, whether it is happening in Israel, Russia, America, Brazil, India, China, or wherever, these things needs to be discussed at a global level to make sure powerful nations do not do whatever they want to suppress the voice of the countries that do not have equal power. For example, at the United Nations level, there's a permanent five, which consists of America, China, France, Britain, and Russia. Whatever they veto at the United Nations stops. So maybe that needs to be discussed further so that superpowers cannot enforce or impose their power on smaller nations. That's exactly what is happening in Ukraine and the global body. Russia can veto any decision that UN comes up with. And as a result of that, that's why this war is continuing. So it needs to stop. It needs to stop for humanity. So with all those nations failed individually to secure a peace. Last week, I stressed the fact that United Nations have indicated complete failure for their inability to stop this war. So therefore, since UN Secretary General is visiting Russia tomorrow to try to help end this war, let us all hope that this effort tomorrow will be successful where many other nations failed. If this effort failed tomorrow, that do not spell well for global stability when it comes to this war. I hope a fruitful outcome is generated tomorrow after he meets with the Russian president and Ukrainian president. Thank you.